Hey DKI, Ken Copeland here, Director of Business Development with DKI ProSupply, and it's time to take 5. Today, we're talking with Aztec Financial and Holly Jimenez. Holly is the Senior Account Manager at Aztec and here to take care of all your needs. How you doing today, Holly?
I'm doing great, Ken. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining me today. It's great to talk to you again. One thing I want to start off with, you guys always talk about the primary reason to work with Aztec is because you're a business lender. What does that mean? I mean, what makes that such a big deal in what you guys do?
Sure. So there's lots of things to be considered when looking at finance options, especially for a business owner. And we're trained, or perhaps the most common thing people think about is what's the rate? What's it going to cost me? What's the finance charges? And those are all fantastic questions. But for a business owner, perhaps it might be more important to understand, is this a business transaction? They set up their corporation or an LLC to help protect them personally. And they should keep that in mind, of course, as they grow their business or do, set up different contracts or what have you for their business. And so they know, get a separate business checking account or get business insurance policies. But sometimes we see quite frequently a business owner will cut the corner and pursue personal finance options for their business assets.
Okay.
And
it's best to keep your personal and business separate. So
yeah.
that way, if anything happens,
you're there's a phrase out there called piercing the corporate veil. And when you do activities such as personal financing, or even, there's other business finance transactions out there that would still report as debt to the personal credit. And again, that may or may not be a bad thing, but that's now you're commingling your business and your personal assets, and it would be more recommended to try to keep those separate, business and personal separate, and that is exactly what Aztec Financial does.
So the key is you got to keep them separated. Don't.
That's exactly right.
That song comes into my head all the time when I talk about keeping things separate. Okay. Okay. So what do you say other things to consider when we're thinking about financing?
So other things to consider, and again, there can be a lot, but perhaps another item they would want to think about is, do I want a lease or do I want a loan finance structure?
Okay. And Dave Ramsey would say pay cash for it.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey would. For a business, though, to pay your long-term, equipment or whatever over a period of time, that can really help with cash flow. And so, again, cash flow for a business, that idea is different than in your personal lifestyle. And so Dave Ramsey, yes, I'm a fan for your personal life, but for a business, spreading that over time might help with your cash flow, which could help your business grow down the road.
Exactly.
But having a lease or loan structure can affect the way that you're going to account for your taxes, right? At the end of the year, when you file your taxes, because there's different benefits for a loan structure in taxes as well as a lease structure. And so we'd recommend, of course, that the business owner talk with his CPA or accountant, because every business is different. But we do offer both lease or loan structures to help support whatever their tax goals are.
Okay. So regarding your vehicle program, what does being a fleet vehicle provider mean, and is that different from a fleet management service?
It is different, yes. So we are a vehicle provider. We order vehicles from the manufacturer. We use a dealership to purchase those vehicles, and then we carry a large inventory. And as you guys know, we can upfit them, we can wrap them, we deliver them. That's what a vehicle provider means. Maintenance service or fleet maintenance service would be long-term maintenance on the vehicle. So, having the oils changed, regularly, or different things like that. And so you would use a different company for those features. But just recognize, though, that it doesn't have to be the same company. You don't have to purchase your vehicle through the same company that's going to offer the fleet maintenance. You can purchase from Aztec for our awesome pricing and our upfits and all of that. And then if it's important to the business owner, they could still pursue a maintenance service through an alternate vendor.
Okay, very cool. So do you guys have those maintenance services available through any vendors that you partner with, or is that something you don't even get into?
Not currently. It is something that we're exploring, but not today. There's lots of them out there. Not to name drop, I suppose, but Enterprise is a large one that lots of people think about. And so again, the misconception can be that they need to purchase the vehicle, in my example, from Enterprise as well in order to get that fleet maintenance, but that is not true. You can purchase from a different company.
And it makes sense to work with somebody who specializes in whatever their area is. With you guys, it's the vehicles and it's the inventory. I mean, there's a vehicle inventory shortage because of the microchips. So
there is.
So how is Aztec been impacted by this?
So we've if you don't mind me tooting our own horn, we've been really good at, Joe Shear, our fleet manager, that's his main focus, is to make sure that we always have inventory to be able to support the demands of our the customers and the industries in which we service. And so he spends a lot of time, ordering vehicles. He looks around the country to see if we can deal or trade or what other, options we might have to be able to continue to grow our inventory. Because to your point, inventory has been, across the country, it's been difficult. It started last year in March, April, when the plants shut down because of the pandemic. And then when they reopened, they were running less shifts. And so it's kind of like just this chain reaction. And now it's, they can't get the computer chips to build the vehicles. They can't get the foam to build the seats out of to finish the vehicles. So
I didn't realize the seats were a big deal too. Okay.
Yes, foam seats. That's a problem right now. So, but we have lots of inventory. We've been able to overcome that, and so I would say that's all due to the hard work of our fleet manager, making sure that we always have enough inventory.
And Joe does like cars. I mean, I've get in a conversation with him and he can go on and on and on. He's a great guy. He loves his cars.
That's what he likes to talk about. Yes. Right. At least he gets to do what he loves, right?
Exactly. So do you have a DKI member that you guys have worked with that you can talk about, what you've done and kind of a success story to kind of end this on?
Yeah. And so, of course, we work with many, but one in particular, when thinking about vehicles, we've got one DKI member we're working with now. Started conversations at the beginning of the year, and so far we've delivered to him 7 vehicles so far this year, and we have another 11 that are at our distribution center being upfit and built out for him. And so a total of, 18 vans.
Vehicles,
wow. That will be providing to just one DKI member. So again, we have lots of inventory. We're able to support that, and that would be just one example of us doing just that.
Fantastic. So for members to learn more about Aztec and what we do, would they reach out to you, and would you be a good point of contact for them?
Yes. Yep.
Fantastic.
I can help, whether it be vehicles or equipment. I would be the primary contact and can help with all of that.
Awesome. All right. Well, very good. Well, Holly, thank you so much for this today. We'll put our contact information up at the end of this video. DKI members, you guys are looking at financing, whether it's vehicles, whether it's equipment. I know we touched on it a little bit, but not too much. But if you're looking for Stark walls or any other equipment for your company, Aztec can also help you finance that as well. So again, they're a business lender. So they're here to kind of a full service lending company for you as well. So reach out to Holly if you have any questions. It's been great talking to you. Thanks, Holly. We'll talk to you soon.